him play on film some just throughout the year. I know some of the games were on weekdays, so I got a chance to see some, and always tried to catch a peek when I could. And I mean, had a great season. You know, I think the momentum that we have is really good right now, and so our job is to try to sustain that momentum and build on it.
What do you think, Mr. Alpin?
I think he's a great player. I'm excited to get to coaching. I know he had a great season this year, and like I said, you know, it's hard enough to have success. It's really hard to sustain success, and so I know that he's going to be really excited about that challenge after this season's complete, and I'm really looking forward to coaching him. You know, great players make coaches look a lot better. So.
What's all your evaluation methods you're going to take when you look at Ryan and his quarterback play this year? Obviously, your systems are somewhat similar to what was here prior, but there are always tweaks and always changes and stuff like that in different criteria. What are you, as a quarterback's coach, going to look at when you kind of evaluate him and try and discern what you want to do with him?
Well, I haven't had a chance to watch him as much as I'd like yet, and you know, what I'll try to do is do what anybody would do. I'll try to just get a feel for what he does really well. You know, I think one thing I've learned being with Coach a long time, let's do what our players do well. Let's not ask them to do things they don't do well. So I'll get a feel for what he does well. Obviously, you know, he'll have a lot of input, being a mature man, played a lot. You know, he'll be able to tell me what he likes, and you know, I like it if he'd be really involved in what we're doing, because what he feels good about, he's usually going to execute pretty well.
I was going to ask both of you, and obviously you guys are offensive minds. You've gotten a reputation for your offense. You was raised under it, but you've run on offense for the last 3 years. You're kind of overseeing a program now. What's your relationship going to be like in terms of game plan, in terms of handling that side of the football, and what sort of is your method that you guys use to try and find a good balance in terms of letting him run the offense, but also use the right?
Well, you know, Rhett will do the game planning during the week. We'll kind of share play calling duties and do it together, which in a way, even at Auburn, you know, he's my right-hand man, and I relied on him a lot, asked his opinion a lot. So we'll do this thing together. And bringing Rhett in, you know, he knows the offense like the back of his hand, and he did a great job calling plays on his own this year. Matter of fact, they almost beat us at Auburn. They had a great game plan against us, and but it's going to allow me to be a head coach and to be able to focus on the things that head coaches need to be focusing on.
Rhett, you had this similar position last year at this past season at Sanford. What was some of the biggest lessons you learned this past season being the offensive coordinator there?
I learned that there's a lot of moving parts, you know, and but you know what I learned more than anything is it takes a unit, a team, and once Coach finishes up assembling the staff. You know, we did a lot of the things we did at Sanford this year because we had a good offensive staff. It was one guy, it was a bunch of us, and so I think trying to build a lot of consensus in the room and everybody knowing what our philosophy is and what we do, but trying to get everybody on the same page. When you get everybody moving in the same direction, you know, you can be pretty good. And once we were able to get that, I think that really helped us do some things at Sanford that hadn't been done offensively in a long time.
What's sort of your timeline, for filling in the position coaches beneath him and trying to fill out a staff for that sort of ball, and how much input will Rhett have in those kinds of decisions?
Well, our first goal is to try and get coordinators, and I'd like those coordinators to have input, and because they'll be in charge of their room, they'll be coaching with those guys, every day.
How much y'all going to have to? How much are they going to have to relearn language and terminology?
Not very much, I think one of the benefits I've had is I've played in this system for Coach, and I've coached in it now at different levels, different times, and so a lot of what I know is what I did as a player and what I learned from Coach. So it's a smooth transition because we both all that stuff's the same for us.
Coach Malzahn, what do you look for in recruiting quarterbacks? What's the main thing you see?
Well, I think the quarterback position, especially what we do, is just very unique, and somebody that can throw it, can run it. I think you got to be able to do both. You got to be able to make good decisions and create plays when things break down. In college football, there's great players, there's great coaches, and it's not a 7-on-7 match like it is sometimes in high school. So, and really, probably more than anything, is a great leader. And with the offenses we've had and the production we've had from the quarterbacks, it's pretty easy for us to recruit quarterbacks. The fact that in our system we've had a Heisman Trophy winner, a first-round draft pick. Players like to play in this offense because we're a quarterback-oriented offense. Make no mistake about it.
How do you sort of, you mentioned that you're an excellent guy. You want to recruit the state vigorously. How do you sort of balance having a staff that can take advantage of those ties, but also regionally and have sort of a national basis too, because that's always going to be a
Sure. Well, I'll just say this. I mean, our goal is to recruit this state like it's never been recruited before. We believe in the high school football coaches in the state of Arkansas, and we believe in the players, and that's where it's going to start. And we will recruit regionally, but our focus will be here in Arkansas, and that's where it'll start. And strategically, we're putting together a staff with that in mind.
Rhett, how much would you say the offense, obviously Coach Malzahn's had a pretty big effect on football in Arkansas, just at the high school level. You know, what are your thoughts on, I guess, the way that's impacted, high school football in Arkansas?
I think it's made Arkansas football very relevant, very well thought of outside the state. You know, being in Alabama and recruiting some other areas, you get a feel for what people think. And I just think it's a testament to the Arkansas high school coaches. We got great Arkansas high school coaches in the state. I'm not going to name any of them because there's a ton of them, but I'd leave somebody out. But the coaching that gets done in the state of Arkansas is as good as there is anywhere, and I think that's why you see players. Hopefully, we're going to be looking to recruit that can come in and contribute early, because the level of coaching has just really gone up, and a lot of that is due to Coach Malzahn and what he started, about 15 years ago.